Are you an international tourist in America completely befuddled by the culture? This is America Explained. Welcome to the chaos. A series for everyone who has landed in this country and immediately gone, what is happening right now? Special shout out to those of you who are here for the World Cup. This is inspired by you and your journey here. We're going to break down the things that make America America, covering everything from complex highway systems to fast food. And we're starting today with something that sounds completely unhinged as a topic, but I promise you by the end of this video, you will understand. Today's lesson is about ice. Not that kind of ice, this kind of ice. Frozen water. And Americans have really made it into a whole personality. Now, before I dive into things, be sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss any more of this series because I'm planning to do this throughout the rest of the summer while we have so many visitors here in America. Let me set a scene for you. You go to Europe. It's gorgeous. The architecture is incredible. The food is amazing. Everything is beautiful and old and charming. You've been walking around in the heat for hours, and then you sit down at a cafe and you order a Coke, and they bring it to you. And it is room temperature. 2 ice cubes, maybe 3, and those ice cubes are already sweating and giving up on life. And the wild part, your European friends are completely fine. Nobody is suffering. They don't miss the ice because they never had the ice. But an American at that table is having an internal crisis. We are not okay. We're smiling, but we're not okay. Because here's the thing. In America, you order water at a restaurant, and what arrives is essentially a glass with ice and then some water poured over it as an afterthought. We don't think of ice as an add on. Ice is the foundation. The drink is the add on. And it's not just drinks. Air conditioning in Europe is a luxury in most places. And you know it's not a luxury in America? Air conditioning, at least in most places. Cold drinks, ice. These things are generally considered basic life necessities. We have built an entire infrastructure around being cold at all times, and we're going to get into that. Okay, so here's where it really gets fun though, because Americans do not treat all ice equally. There is a hierarchy. There is a whole taxonomy of ice types, and Americans have strong opinions about every single one of them. I'm already preparing for people to fight me in the comments on this. So let's dig into the main types of ice you're going to encounter here. Full cube ice, big, solid, dense, melts slowly so it doesn't water down your drink. This is what you're going to get at nicer restaurants and bars. If someone gives you the full ice, they respect you. This is formal ice. This is professional ice. Then we've got the crescent ice. This is the curved half moon shaped ice that comes out of most home refrigerators. It chills your drink fast, but it dissolves quicker than the full cube. It's the everyday workhorse. It is the Honda Civic of ice. Most Americans have had this in their freezer. Then there's bag ice, the Walmart variety. You know those big plastic bags you grab at the checkout or near the giant freezer chest at the front of the door of the grocery store? That's usually small pellets or half cubes. The texture is slightly different from your home fridge. It's a little softer, it's a little clumpier, it melts faster because it's been sitting in a bag. But it's cheap and it's everywhere, and Americans buy it constantly for cookouts, for coolers, for tailgates, for pool days if their freezer goes out. You grab a bag of ice the same way you grab a case of soda. It's just part of the plan. Then we have my personal favorite, nugget ice. It's also called pellet ice, also called sonic ice, also called by red-blooded Americans who know what's up, the good ice. This is the one. Nugget ice is soft, it's chewable, it's slightly spongy, it absorbs the flavor of whatever you're drinking, so every single sip is better than it would be otherwise. Sonic Drive-In made this famous, and people are so obsessed with this type of ice, they will genuinely drive out of their way just to get a Sonic drink, specifically because of the ice. Not the drink, the ice. And people have started buying like $500 countertop nugget ice machines just to have this at home. Then we have the sphere or the square in some cases. It's a single large ball or block of ice, usually made with a silicone mold. Melts extremely slowly, designed for whiskey, bourbon, a nice scotch. If someone hands you a drink with a sphere in it, you are probably at a very nice bar or at someone's house who just bought a mold off Amazon and is extremely proud of themselves. And honestly, they should be. It's gorgeous. It's doing something. It says, I take my beverages seriously. And just so we're all clear, like I said, Americans have genuine, passionate opinions about which of these is the best ice. This is not a small talk topic. This is a real conversation that people have, and it can go long. Now, let's talk about the infrastructure, because this is where international visitors start to realize that America doesn't just like ice. America committed to ice at a structural level. Most American refrigerators have a built in ice maker. You open the freezer, there's a little bin, there's a small plastic shovel sometimes, and the machine just makes ice automatically, constantly on its own. You never think about it, you just go get ice. Many foreigners find this completely baffling, and I love that for us. And then there's the crushed ice versus cubed ice button, because a lot of the fridges, they give you a choice. and you click a button, you get your preferred type of ice. And someone in every American household is annoyed right now because someone has clicked the wrong type of ice and left the default on the button they do not prefer. Beyond the fridge, you can buy a bag of ice at basically any gas station, grocery store, or Walmart in the country for about $2 to $3, maybe 5 in higher cost of living places. It's a 10-pound bag, right? Just sitting there in a big freezer chest, sometimes outside the store, just existing in the elements, ready for you. And in the South, especially Texas, Florida, Louisiana, my home state of Alabama, you'll see standalone ice vending machines in parking lots. You pull up, you put a few dollars in, you get a fresh bag of ice dispensed just like a gumball. They're everywhere because the South is hot, like devil's hairy butt crack hot. And Americans are always going somewhere with a cooler, and the cooler needs ice, and nobody has time to plan ahead. So the infrastructure just exists to support us in our mission for ice at all times. Okay, now we have to talk about ice in the context of American drinks specifically, because this is its own world. Gas station iced tea. This is a cultural institution, and I will not hear otherwise. If you're not from the Southeast, maybe this isn't something for you, but it's worth mentioning. You walk into a gas station, you grab a big cold bottle of Gold Peak or Arizona Brisk. It is a full moment. It is a vibe. Sweet tea, especially, is a Southern identity thing. If you walk into a restaurant in the South and order tea, you're going to get sweet tea cold over ice. Always. It's not a question. It's not a choice. It's just what happens. And it's deeply satisfying in a way that a warm cup of tea simply cannot compete with. I'm sorry to our international visitors. I said what I said. Okay, then we have the icy. The icy was invented in the late 1950s when a guy's soda fountain machine broke and he accidentally started freezing the soda and then realized people loved it. And it became one of the most iconic American convenience store experiences of all time. The icy machine at 7-Eleven is a childhood memory of an entire generation of Americans, including one. You get a giant cup, you choose your flavor, cherry, blue raspberry. For me, I love a Coke icy. And then you get this cold, icy, slightly slushy frozen drink, and it is peak summer in America. It costs like $1.50 and it is perfect. Then we have the snow cone. Not technically a drink, but it deserves a mention because it really is pure America. We can talk about the roots of it later, but shaved ice, paper cone, drenched in flavored syrup. You get all of these at fairs, you get it at road stands, at a little snow cone shacks that pop up in the South in the summer, just like they grew off the ground. They're simple, they're cheap. They've been around in America since the 1800s, and they're a completely valid reason for you to pull over your car. Then we have fast food fountain drinks. Every major fast food chain in America uses a specific type of ice, and Americans know the difference. McDonald's has those small cylindrical pellets. Chick-fil-A has nugget ice, which is genuinely part of why Chick-fil-A has a cult following. A fountain Coke with crushed ice at a gas station hits completely different than the same Coke with cubed ice, and Americans will tell you this with a straight face, and they are correct. And then there's the free ice water situation. You can walk into almost any American restaurant and get a full cup of ice water for free or basically free. Maybe with a lid, maybe with a straw. To someone from another country, this is almost incomprehensibly generous. But to us, it's just Tuesday. But here's the takeaway. Ice in America is not just frozen water. It's infrastructure, it's culture, it's identity. We have opinions about the shape of it. We have machines dedicated to making it. We have built vending machine systems around it. We have driven out of our way to find it. We have spent hundreds of dollars on home machines to replicate the specific type of it we got at a fast food restaurant and found deeply spiritual. And if you're from somewhere else and all of this sounds absolutely unhinged, I genuinely get it. I do. But come spend one July in Alabama or Arizona heat with no ice, and I promise you will never question us again. Welcome to America. Your drink is cold. You're welcome. This is America Explained. Welcome to the chaos. And we are just getting started. Next up, we're going to talk about why most Americans don't really care about soccer. Comment what other topics you'd like for me to cover, and I'll see you next time.